Eccoci,
Allora,
siamo live.
Buonasera a tutti, grazie di essere presenti in questo primo appuntamento. È un'idea che mi è venuta durante questo periodo, questo specialissimo periodo, siccome ci sono live, tantissime gemme, tantissime interviste, ho deciso di parlare come facciamo normalmente con tutti i miei top artist. Stefano, se vuoi.
Allora, so Marco is welcoming you all on live on this chat. This is an idea that Marco De Virgilis has had during this particular weird period we're living. So he decided to start tonight this new format where he's gonna chat a little bit with his top artists, with all the artists that are collaborating with us and using the gear that Marco designed. So tonight is gonna be the very first meeting we're gonna have live streaming, and thank you all for being with us tonight. So enjoy these 20 minutes that they're gonna be more maybe than 20 minutes, but let's see. Ok, thank you.
Infatti abbiamo chiamato 20 minuti perché non vogliamo stare qui ore, ma vogliamo incontrarvi in un modo simpatico e magari ascoltare anche le vostre domande. Io ringrazio Stefano Xotta, che è un mio grande collaboratore e amico, e facciamo entrare, Stefano, pensaci tu a fare entrare il maestro Greg Howe.
Okay, so we are ready to start. We call this event 20 minutes with because we don't want to stay online for hours, but of course we're gonna get the time to do some question with him, and of course we're gonna take a few of your questions for the artists we're gonna have tonight. So let him in. Please welcome Mr. Greg Howe.
Hey Greg, how are you?
Hello, Greg.
Good. How are you guys doing?
Mi sembra sveglio, fresco. Grazie Greg, mi sembra veramente fresco, sveglio, pronto per rispondere a tutti.
Thank you very much. He looks very fresh and ready to reply to any question.
Looks are deceiving.
Yeah. Ciao Riccardo. Riccardo, another great person inside our Mark Word team, is watching this live streaming, of course.
So, naturalmente la prima domanda sarà, Greg, come hai vissuto questo periodo veramente speciale da musicista, le tue sensazioni, la tua musica, cosa ti ha lasciato questo periodo?
So the very first question is, how did you live as a musician this period, and how this period affected your music, your feelings? What this period left you?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you without trying to get too deep or philosophical or anything. I try my best to be informed without being engaged. So I don't really get affected by it because I basically kind of ignore things that don't make me feel good. So I've been working on my album. I've had a lot of projects, and weirdly, I do a lot of online lessons. So that's actually gone kind of way up, probably because everybody's home and they're sort of like, "What? Let's do something. Let's take some lessons from Greg Howe." So I've been really, really busy, and it's weird. I've had a lot of remote recording projects, and like I said, I am working on my album, and I do have time to finally put time aside towards an instructional content of some sort. I've been saying that for years, but I have no excuses now because I have, I can't go anywhere and do anything except play guitar and video games, of course, but that's about it.
Cool.
Vuoi tradurre, Stefano, per...
Allora, diciamo, Greg di base preferisce stare alla larga da notizie che lo fanno stare male, per cui ha cercato di non guardare troppe news riguardo a quello che è successo ultimamente in questo periodo, che comunque ha coinciso anche con la registrazione del suo nuovo album, per cui è rimasto chiuso in studio per creare la sua nuova musica e ha aumentato sensibilmente il numero di lezioni online, come tantissimi musicisti stanno facendo, per cui è stato per lui comunque un periodo estremamente occupato.
Quindi infatti Benissimo.
That's a long question.
Noi sappiamo anche che hai dovuto spostare il tuo tour e quindi volevamo sapere quando pensi che ci sarà il tour, naturalmente quando sarà possibile e anche quando ti possiamo rivedere qui in Italia, a Pescara, dove che so che è una città che ti piace molto.
We know that you had to postpone your tour, so
Yeah.
we'd like to know if you have already an idea where you're gonna restart performing live and where. And when you're coming back to Italy, to Pescara, that we know you love Pescara, so we're waiting for you. So do you have any plans to come back to Italy as well?
We could make plans. Any excuse works for me. So, well, the U.S. tour was scheduled for August of this year, and it was pretty much going to be the very end of July all the way to the very beginning of September. And luckily, I think the booking agent was able to pretty much get that exact routing, the exact setup moved to 2021. So I think that's pretty much about the same, with maybe a couple of minor changes, but I think it's about the same as it was. The European tour that we had scheduled for the end of this year was really in the stages of being developed as while this happened. So it wasn't fully booked. We had a lot of dates that we still had to fill in. So that will likely be just starting from scratch, starting fresh, but likely the same time frame. So probably September, or actually probably more like October, November, December. That's usually what feels appropriate over there for me. That seems to work. So that's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen.
So even the European tour is going to happen in 2021?
Yes, we're not going to do anything.
So mainly you're not planning to perform live in 2020?
Correct, unless I do some kind of live stream, out here in the yard, set up a big stage and have a big band and stream it. Something. Well, I'm thinking about that, so that's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Ok, so let me translate quickly in Italian. Allora, Greg ha di base procrastinato per l'anno prossimo tutti i suoi impegni live. Aveva un tour in America schedulato intorno a luglio e il tutto è stato traslato più o meno nello stesso periodo e date nel 2021, e il tour europeo invece, che era in via di definizione per la fine dell'anno, ottobre-novembre, anche quello verrà comunque spostato. Per cui di base, al di là di qualche evento live, in live streaming che potrebbe fare quest'anno, nel 2020 non ha intenzione di suonare live. Per quanto riguarda il venire in Italia, dice ogni scusa è valida, per cui sono sempre pronto. Cool.
Grazie. Volevo parlare un attimo della testata anche della 250 che vediamo, la Tube 250 che vediamo dietro Greg. Lui ha fatto un video di qualche minuto che ha avuto un grande successo. Quindi non so, è possibile ascoltarlo anche in questo momento per qualche minuto?
So, we just released your new signature head, the DB Little GH250 tube, the black one.
That's
and it's finally available on the market. And we saw that when you made the very first quick videos you made at home, you had a great success, a lot of rumors, a lot of interest from your fans and guitar enthusiasts. So can you play it a little bit for us during this live streaming?
Yeah, sure. This is the sort of a basic sound. I can't move the camera to show you that the only thing that I have going on right now is I have a signature pedal called the Lickbox through Carl Martin, and I'm actually only using the boost setting on that, which is the boost switch, which is at about 12 o'clock, and hitting the clean side of the GH Little 250, and that's this. That's that sound. So it's very, it's a lot of string clarity. So that's my basic goof off, noodle around with nothing to really say on the guitar kind of tone. But I think it sounds nice. Throw a wah pedal in front of it.
It's very, very cool. Thank you very much.
Very clear.
Allora a questo punto, Stefano, possiamo dire a tutti che stiamo lavorando anche un altro progetto, perché tutti sanno che comunque Greg è un grande appassionato delle valvole, e quindi abbiamo iniziato da diversi mesi, poi abbiamo avuto questo tempo di fermo, ma stiamo per arrivare con una nuova testata che magari possiamo dire solo il nome, che è piaciuto tanto a Greg, e a breve abbiamo intenzione di presentarla con un video non appena esce. La testata che Greg vuole assolutamente da anni, quindi siamo contenti di avere a fianco a questa 250, che ha sempre un prevalvolare, una testata completamente valvolare, che sarà pronta a brevissimo.
Sì. Now, say the world can see why I wear a hat all the time. I don't know what to do with all this.
So Marco was revealing a little secret, because we all know that you are an old tube enthusiast.
I am.
So you're really, really super happy with this new head, the GH250 tube. It's very portable. It features a tube preamp, so he has the right behavior for you. But Marco wants you 100% happy, so he's designing for you a new project. So you can announce the name of this new head that we're doing, if you want.
So the new head is a very sort of a basic, old style, old school, almost like a, I don't know, just an old basic head, right? Like an old plexi kind of thing. Originally with no gain stage, but you guys came up with a gain stage that sounded amazing. And so I wasn't even expecting it. Originally we were going to release it as just a power amp head, like an old, I can't think of the name of like a JTM 45 or something. But you guys came up with a gain stage that sounds so real and authentic and organic and old school and no frills. I don't know. I can't say enough about it. If it's going to be what I remember playing last time I played through it, it's going to be the best tube amp I've ever played through. So I'm really psyched. It's called the Professor. That's what we're calling it, because it's going to school everybody about tone.
Great.
Amazing.
That's great. So we can't wait, of course, to send you the very first prototype, to let you have a few videos, because we're sure it's going to have the same success you had with the small videos, the quick videos you made with the 250, the GH2. So we can't say nothing else about that so far, but guys, stay tuned, because something really interesting around Greg Howe and his gear is happening in DB Mark House.
I do want to really, really emphasize, and I'm not just trying to be a salesman here, but this amp, you know me, I got to tell you guys who are watching this, I've been the guy that just every time DB Mark hears my name, I know they all go, oh no, like this. I'm always very particular and meticulous about what I need in tone, and I'm very much a tube amp guy. And so originally when Marco started telling me about the development of this, which is essentially a solid state head, although there is kind of a micro tube in the preamp stage, I just remember thinking, I'm not going to like it. I've tried it too many times. I don't like it. We've tried this for years. I've tried to like solid state. It just doesn't work under my fingers. And when I plugged into it and felt that bouncy response, that dynamic interplay that I'm used to feeling with a tube amp, I was really blown away. It really actually doesn't even make sense to me still, because this is really honestly one of my favorite amps, and I have a lot of amplifiers, tube amps. So I'm talking about, of all my amps, this is one of my very favorite sounds. It's right in there with the very best tube amps that I have. So that's why I don't mind waiting for the Professor. I got something really cool in the meantime, so it's great.
Cool, great. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Stefano, forse è il caso di raccontare un attimo Facciamo capire come ti ricordi quando siete venute, sei venuto pure tu e abbiamo fatto diverse prove con Greg, siamo stati qua 3 giorni, 4 giorni, fin quando non ha trovato il sorriso veramente grande su questa testata, sia su questa, quando è successo questa, sia sulla Professor, che lui veramente si vedeva che era veramente contento.
So Marco asked me to report to our fans how we developed the Professor. So you came to the headquarters and we stayed there 2-3 days where you played where you played a lot these stages that we prepared, the power amp and the other parts of the amp we designed for you. And we want you to be happy. So until we saw your smile and then your mood, because we know that when you like something, you indicate with your finger. Yes. That means, okay, I like that.
That's the same with food. If you see
me, I know.
And if I go like this, the real deal. So yeah, you saw that.
So when you fingered the head, okay, we said, okay, we got it finally. And actually it's very interesting because we put partly what was the very first Marigold project strongly changed, applied to the power amp style you asked for. So the Monster came out and we were so happy to see you so convinced, so happy of the response of the head with the guitar. You played many hours during those days, so you also passed the test of, okay, today I like it, tomorrow I don't know why I don't like it anymore.
Because that's a real thing. Come on, you guitar players out there, you know you can relate to what I'm saying. You think you found it, and then the next day you're like, no. Or sometimes it's the opposite, where you're like, I'm not sure. Then you show up the next day and it's like, this is the best tone I've ever heard in my life. So
what did you do? Nothing.
There's so much psychological craziness here. So, but in the end, I know that we nailed it this time because I was having fun playing that amplifier. So.
E possiamo pure spiegare che con Greg facciamo le prove sempre prima di mangiare. Non facciamo mai le prove di mangiato, perché dopo che abbiamo mangiato, siamo tutti abbastanza.
We tend to test everything before lunch. Because in Pescara, lunch is a very dramatic phase of the day.
It is very dramatic.
The afternoon is strongly affected by lunch, so you know. And we don't want to reveal anything about the look of this head, but we can say it's gonna be something very special.
It's hot, yeah. It's definitely hot.
Si riconoscerà di sicuro.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I wanted just to give you make you a question I saw online from a guy that is asking some tips from you to get a better music memory, to remember songs, chord progressions, licks. How do you train your memory to remember everything? Because we all know your songs are not easy at all.
Yeah, all. There's and I'm the wrong person to ask this. I'm being honest with you. Because literally, I remember this. We did the Wheelhouse tour in 2017, which was the same year that the album came out. And so the album came out. We actually released the album during the U.S. tour, and I had just recorded this stuff. Right, I had just gotten done recording, and when it came time for rehearsals, I remember I'm like, how does this go again? I'm just like, if I don't do it every day, it's not there, because I don't know why I've seen guys that can walk away from a song for 10 years and they come back and they know everything about it. But I'm not really that great at that. So the only answer that I can give you that's honest is, just rehearse it a lot and listen to it a lot. I mean, I don't think for me, there's no other way to retain it in memory other than to just do it over and over again until it just becomes, like I could probably play Stairway to Heaven now because as a kid, I played that so many times.
Okay.
So you have to do that with your own songs, I think, or with whatever songs. That's what works for me. There's probably other people out there that could give you much more beneficial answers, but go ahead.
So knowing that, how did you manage to study and remember the songs with the last minute call with Michael Jackson?
Lots of alcohol and no. It was crazy. I had to listen nonstop, and I had to play everything over and over and over again, and listen and play and listen and play. And even by the time we did the first rehearsal, I was still, and I made notes. Okay, remember this, this is, remember there's a modulation here. Remember to hit the pedal here, and remember, you have to switch to this preset on this song. It's just doing whatever you can to remember it. There's no trick. It's like make a note, make some notes on your arm, put a sheet of paper. I had a poster size sheet of paper that I made. It was actually a bunch of 8x10 paper taped together, poster size around my pedal board that had notes for everything. Everything that I might forget. Remember this starts in F sharp. Remember this is remember you have to step up and twirl around twice before the bridge on this song. Remember, this is preset 41, and then the bridge is preset 68, and so I had to make notes for everything. I couldn't remember everything.
Okay.
But yeah, sorry to disappoint you on, but yeah, I have the same memory issues that you guys have.
Cool. So, Marco, do you have any other questions?
C'è qualche domanda, Stefano, che bello, interessante, magari chi è il musicista che l'ha ispirato di più? Quali musicisti? Which jazz
musician inspired you the most? There's been so many. I mean, there's not a most. My earliest influence, real heavy duty influence that really got me to be like, I want to be a guitar player, was Van Halen. So he was the guy that really made me like, all right, that's it. I'm doing that for a living, But along the way, there's been everybody. I mean, you name it. If you know his name, I can promise you he's influenced me, or she.
Okay. Because actually, you have a transition, and there's actually another question about that. A guy, Rob Rodriguez, is asking, how was the transition from the hard rock of Howe to Introspection? And which is the best rock fusion album of all time for you? But actually, there's a transition in your style. I mean, okay, you're a Van Halen fan, but in a certain time of your career, your music developed in something more sophisticated than Van Halen stuff.
Well, I was expanding musically, and so like many people, young people, you want to play the guitar on stage because it looks cool and you can, be cool. And it's fun, and you can play some cool licks, and everybody thinks you're cool. But as I got into it, I really just started to fall in love with music and really get drawn into music, and I always wanted to expand. And so, listening to Yngwie Malmsteen and listening to Van Halen and, George Lynch, and that started to evolve to listening to Lee Ritenour and John Scofield and, those kind of players, and Alan Holdreth, of course, and, George Benson. And so all of this just started to kind of get mixed up in this big bowl of stuff, which never really became compartmentalized. So I'm not good at mimicking anything in particular. It just all together kind of sounds like me. And so the transition happened partially because I was growing, and partially because I was deliberately not presenting that stuff as a hard rock band. Because you have to remember, Mike Varney's Shrapnel record label back then was pretty much exclusively a heavy metal label. And everything they were doing was hard and heavy, coming at you with guitar in your face. And so, Introspection probably wouldn't have been appropriate earlier than that. But by the time I did Introspection, Mike had expanded. He had his blues label. He was doing other stuff with fusion artists. He was expanding. And so it was an opportunity for me to really be super truthful about where I was in my development and my evolution at that time. And there were things that I probably could have done that would have sounded maybe a little more sophisticated on a couple of earlier albums, but that I was deliberately not doing in order to maintain the spirit of hard rock. But you are right. And one of the things that did happen was that I really got into understanding superimposition and understanding that there was more to expanding on the guitar than just getting faster and getting more technique, but that I was starting to understand the use of really essentially applying arpeggio shapes for the sake of tonality. If I heard a chord like this earlier, I was always just thinking, well, there's got to be another cool lick that I could play. I could come up here and whatever. But I started to learn after a while that what I was really liking about these more fusion artists that I was hearing was their note selection and the note contour and just their the sensibility about how they would convey these musical sentences. And the note selection became a thing that I basically did this. I just said to myself, well, if I'm in a key like D minor and I'm thinking of that as Dorian, then I can just say to myself, this is the parent key of C major. C major has this chord scale, all of which can be, can be represented by arpeggios and so forth. And if that's the case, then it seems to me that every one of those arpeggios should be able to work over this D minor chord that came from the same key. So what would happen if I played, B minor 7 flat 5 from the key of C major over this chord? And then suddenly, I'm playing notes that I never would have thought to play, or I'm highlighting notes that I would, as a exclusive rock player, would never have thought. I just wouldn't have thought to think that way, And that really, really was the thing that changed everything for me. That was a whole new look of the guitar now. The whole fretboard changed. And so I really don't see scales that much anymore. When if somebody gives me a key, if I see A minor, I'm already seeing these sort of fifth string root based arpeggios and correlating the tonality that they would deliver against that chord if I were to play them. So if I want the sound of a 9, if I want, I already know that I can go, or if I wanted the sound of a 6, I already know that I can go. Right, I already know where that stuff is located. And it's really based on these fifth string root based arpeggios that really changed everything for me. It's kind of like a bargain bin version of the cage system for me. But it's really even simpler because I'm just seeing shapes and they correlate to tonalities against a chord. So for all of you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, I apologize for that very boring segment. But hopefully, I think it was Rod. Was that your name who asked the question? Was it Rod?
Yeah.
Hopefully that makes some sense.
Yeah. Stefano,
thank you very much.
Credo sia difficile tradurre tutto in italiano, però il concetto di seguire
Sì.
la scala, meno della tonalità, insomma, ecco, se vuoi di qualche parola
Sì.
in questo senso.
Certo. Sorry, I very quickly translate into Italian. Allora, inizialmente Greg aveva fatto dei dischi più rock perché con la Sharpnel Records i chitarristi che andavano erano soprattutto quelli. Poi lui nel frattempo si è evoluto molto come musicista, ha iniziato ad ascoltare dei musicisti che suonavano un genere un po' più impegnato e ha iniziato ad approcciare la chitarra in maniera diversa, meno riferendosi alle scale e alla stretta tonalità, ma semplicemente una volta capito l'accordo su cui doveva suonare, la tonalità o al modo in cui da cui voleva prendere spunto, lavorava e lavora ancora sulle forme degli arpeggi, degli accordi che formano quella tonalità. Di conseguenza non pensa più alla scala, ma proprio agli arpeggi degli accordi che contengono gli intervalli che vuole sottolineare in base all'accordo su cui sta suonando, per cui sicuramente è un modo non semplice di interpretarlo, ma secondo lui è una versione un po' più semplificata del sistema caged. Dice, spero che sappiate bene o male di cosa sto parlando e spero di aver risposto alla domanda di questo ragazzo che l'ha posta, appunto. Ok, thank you.
Intanto grazie a Stefano, perché come sempre è veramente eccezionale nell'interpretare
Thank you, Marco.
quello che dicono gli altri. È una vera risorsa, ormai nel tempo lo conosciamo bene. Senti, io chiederei, a parte di fargli fare qualche altra nota, e poi gli chiediamo quali sono i suoi progetti futuri, che molti chiedono se sta lavorando a nuovi dischi o a qualche altra cosa, e poi magari 2 note, perché qualcuno dice fatelo suonare, lo sappiamo,
Certo,
ma
sì. Okay, so we'd like to know about your upcoming projects. You were talking about a new release, a new record that you made during this lockdown period. So maybe you can mention when you think it's going to be released officially and other projects. And then, of course, there's a lot of people asking, please, Greg, play. So you can reply to this question, and then you can play a few notes for all your fans.
Okay, so the album, the new album, was originally going to be recorded with Stu Hamm and a drummer named Joel Taylor, which a lot of people know, played with 1 million people, amazing drummer. And we were going to record and track that album in April, I think, but we weren't able to because of all the stuff that was happening. So to be honest with you, I've gone back and revisited some of the material, and I'm sort of writing more stuff because I know that we're not going to be recording probably anytime in this immediately near future. So that album's not done. That album is being, worked on now. And so I don't know. It's hard to say if I'm gonna. It really depends on other factors. What other projects come up? What other things happen? What else we end up doing between now and whenever things get better again. But if my touring isn't going to happen until next year, there's a good chance that the album is not going to happen for a while. So yeah, that's my best answer, is that I don't know exactly when it's going to come out. Sorry.
But you mean that you prefer to tour and then to release your album, or you want to release your album right before starting touring?
Yes, I'd rather release the album closer to the time of I'd rather release it closer to the touring time.
Okay.
A month prior, maybe even during the tour, or when the tour starts.
So maybe people attending to your shows can buy the very first fresh, still warm copies of the album.
We did that before, yeah.
Cool, great.
But yeah.
Okay, thank you. So please play a few notes.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, and then that'll be it, I guess, right?
What?
All right. There's some notes for you.
Allora Stefano,
Cool.
ringraziamo, se c'è qualche altra domanda, qualcosa, vuoi vedere qualche altra cosa, no, a questo punto possiamo anche ringraziare Greg, perché non vogliamo tenerlo troppo tempo.
Oltre il dovuto.
Voglio dire che diciamo che Greg non è solo un grande endorser, ma anche un grande amico, lo consideriamo tutti nella famiglia come un grande amico, tutti qui in Parsec che gli vogliono veramente bene, perché è veramente una persona particolare per noi, e quindi speriamo di fare altre, magari più tecniche, altre interviste dove lui suona di più e spiega più cose tecniche, come vedo che le persone alla fine sono interessate dal suo modo di suonare, dalla sua storia, che tutti sappiamo che è grandissima, insomma.
Okay, so thank you very much, Greg. You're not just one of our top artists, you are one of our top friends. because
Yes.
you know that everybody inside the company really love you. So it's always a pleasure for us having you hanging out at the company. We hope that to happen very soon. And maybe in the next future, we're going to do another live streaming with you, maybe more technical, because we see that a lot of your fans wants to get some informations and tricks from you. Maybe you can play more, and we can also organize ourselves to deliver a better tone with a better technical environment to deliver the proper tone. So it's gonna be our pleasure. So we don't want to steal you other time. Thank you very, very much for being with us today.
Thank you, you guys. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure, my honor. I really appreciate it.
Stefano,
Thank
è bello che
and talk to you soon, and enjoy playing your DV Lido GH250 tube.
I will do so. Thank you, everybody watching. Thank you very much. Really appreciate
Ciao, Stefano, è bello che
Ciao.
molti scrivono. Stefano, è bello che molti scrivono che hanno acquistato la testata e sono contentissimi, quindi questo veramente ci fa piacere. Ciao Greg, ciao Stefano e grazie a tutti e alla prossima.
Ciao.
Grazie.
it. Bye.
Ciao ciao.